Order. Review resolutions. We have the walk for multiple sclerosis approval today. We have the request from Susan Cobb, Fredonia High School class of 1967 for use of trolley.
I have one about that. Do they not need a certificate of insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't see it on the resolution.
Now, normally we don't for that, or something like that. Because there's not an organization there to ask for a certificate of insurance.
But we're covered. I mean, it's a
We're
village
covered by our
trolley.
insurance. Anything that would happen would be under our insurance. Normally you get them to cover it because then it takes the village off the hook as far as any kind of...
And
That's
I
what I'm
would,
saying, though, it's a village trolley, so I mean, if something were to happen, are we covered?
Yeah, it's our trolley. We have insurance, but the reason that we get insurance from other people is because then they're first in line for anything that would happen. But since there isn't an extra layer of insurance like that, anything that would happen would come to the village first.
Okay.
And we usually don't like to have that situation exist.
That's fine, yeah, no, we're kind of in that.
We're in there. Oh, yeah,
So why
yeah,
don't they have a
there is a
certificate of
liability.
insurance?
There's no doubt there's a liability to
And if
authorizing this.
if Susan, Mrs. Cobb, made the request, I'm sure she's part of the committee that's organizing the class reunion at 67, because we did this several years ago, and our committee had insurance to be able to
I'd
use
like
the
to see them
college.
get a
I
certificate
think
of
they need
insurance.
Well,
something.
if you want to add that to the resolution tonight, we can call them and say you're authorized to do it, but you need to provide the village with a certificate of insurance, naming the village as additional insured for $1 million like we do everybody else.
They're no
I mean,
different than the
that's
kids
fine.
that do
Is
the
that going to be a
walk.
lot of money for them?
It shouldn't be too
No,
much,
it's not
but I
too
mean,
much.
it's going to be an expense. It'd be in the 300 range.
Well, do we want to have them see if they want to get it first, and then before we do this? This isn't until
When is it, Mar? I don't even remember.
July.
July.
Then
There's
let's
plenty of time.
let's table it until,
Yeah.
Good
I'll
idea.
call them.
I mean, I hate to do that, I don't see a problem with them using it at
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
Susan Cobb's probably gonna want to wring my neck when she sees me, but, I just looked at it and thought, there's no certificate of insurance, and it seems like
Yeah.
we always have one for.
We normally do, yes. Yep.
Yep.
Sorry, Susan.
Okay, and then we have the abstract number 486 approval.
These are the normal bills of the village, payrolls.
Yeah. And then the annual Chamber of Commerce election and awards banquet at 23rd of March 2017.
What that does is it authorizes all of the board and mayor, myself, to attend, but you have to let us know if you want to or not. And again, you could read this right in the front, the big bold stuff. That's pretty much tells you.
Okay, so we know what it is. And now the new business, fire department report for January 2017. And then the building inspector's report for year, and 2016 and January 2017. The justice report for January 2017. And then in addition to Barker Hose Company, that's the code of co-op, right? Okay, two people. Yeah, two people.
Yeah.
Right. And then we have a request from Festivals Fredonia for village support in advertising and promotion costs.
We haven't done that in a few years. We used to do 2,000
And we took that out because of the budget. And we don't have a budget yet, so that's something that should be tabled until we get our budget in line.
Yeah, there's no resolution in here. That's just being read in as a correspondence that was received. So we just received a request from them asking for $2,000, but you're right, then it'll get reviewed as
Has to
part
be
of
in
the
the
budget
budget,
process.
so have
Yeah.
to do the budget first.
Right,
And we'll see.
yeah.
Well, thank you for the request. Do you have any kind of estimate, like how many people are coming to the festivals?
Usually between 6,000 and 8,000 for most of the coming out like blues.
Right, yes,
Depending on weather as well.
yeah.
What would you say is your biggest festival that draws the most?
Red, white, and blue.
Red, white, and
The
blue.
red, white,
Sure. Okay.
Just curious, do you have any corporate sponsors?
We just lost one of our major corporate sponsors, but we do have some corporate sponsors that range anywhere from 500 to 2,000.
Okay. Well, I wanted to discuss a little bit the economic development in combination with shared services and grant, just to bring everybody on the same page. And I apologize if you know the things that I'm going to say, but these are some new things for me. So I just want to make sure that we all understand the same thing. After my trip to Albany, I came to understand that there are a few kind of grants. Pretty much a village like ours depends on grants. If you want to do anything that is quite expensive, it quite depends on grants. And there are quite a few. And without having anything to do with what you think about grants in general, at the end of the day, it's taxpayers' money that coming back to the taxpayers. So I think until these laws are changed, they're fine. Now, about economic development, there are just one kind of grant. They come from the same source. The governor, about 11 years ago, divided the state of New York into 10 regions, and then each region has a regional economic council, and this is the only avenue that you can get money towards economic development. There are other avenues to get money towards buildings and towards services and other things. However, towards economic development, this is the only way to get money. And this is actually the source that we got the last money for the last for the last grant. And the same as second part of that was the other night we had the meeting about Central Connections. Central Connections, we started with downtown, with the park downtown, and on the other end, something on the pier, and we going in some way to connect the two with the next CFA, if we're able to do it. And so far, so long. Now, sales services come from the Department of State, usually. And as you know, I sent you an email. Next month, I have a meeting with a person called Grant, Mr. Grant, from the Department of State, who is going to come here, and I think Jim and Mr. Rasek are going to be at the meeting as well to see what we can do. Starting on that, my belief is, having looked a little bit into it, or a little more than a little bit actually, the best chance we have for shared services, to shared businesses, or even not reconstruction, but anyways, going together with another municipality is the wastewater treatment plant. I think we have, this is a win-win situation from many different perspectives. First of all, research has shown that the mid to large companies, when they look for a new place, they go someplace where they say start from the bottom up. They need a state-of-the-art wastewater treatment plant. That's it. That this is one of the first things that they look, as long as the same thing as water. But wastewater treatment plant is something that they absolutely need to have. And my thought is that we have two facilities, us and Dunkirk, and I think that with the right planning and with the right resources, we can have one of them residential, for example, ours, doesn't matter which one, depending on the engineering plans, whatever. So we can have one plant going towards for the residential, and then the other one for the industrial or commercial or something like that. So we can have two state-of-the-art facilities to not only be responsible for the environment and not pollute the lake, and responsible toward the people of Fredonia and Dunkirk who are paying the rates, but also a good economic development, start, beginning. And I understand that for wastewater treatment plant, there are a lot of money if you go into shared services or consolidation, which I believe we should pursue, should discuss more extensively. Now, a part of that, I looked a lot. I can't see anything else, but I want to open the discussion because I know Mr. Esek has some ideas. So please.
I think my thoughts were, given our current circumstances with a lot of different departments, like you said, the wastewater treatment plant, I actually just took a tour there, and they operate very well. Their efficiency of the effluent going out into the lake is 98 to 100% totally clean, so it's a very, very good operation, even though we do have some work to do down there. My thought was, with the different shared services that I'm not sure, maybe this gentleman from the Department of State could look more into. I know you had looked into it, but I still would like to research a little more about possible shared police facilities, based on the fact that both the Dunkirk Police Department, their department is in bad repair, same as ours. Their fire department, and I don't know the logistics and the possibilities of it, but their fire department headquarters are in repair and needed repair, and so is ours at this point. Even the Department of Public Works, the facilities there are also in some need of repair, and I was thinking consolidating or shared services with the town of Pomfret. But I guess in order to understand and see where we can go with these services, to meet with that person from Department of State, but I was kind of hoping that we could almost do a little more of our entire board and maybe the City of Dunkirk Council at this point.
It is a lot of work to do something like that, and we really have to present. Mr. Grant is just going to say, this is the available money. It's not going to do any of the work for us. It's very complicated. I think I sent you my report on the police facilities. It's quite complicated because there are, first of all, we have to adhere to our charter. And according to our charter, we need to have a police department, we need to have a fire department.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the same with the City of Dunkirk. Now, when you say shared services, and I would invite
maybe shared
facilities, yeah. But in order to get the more money possible, the most money possible, I found about the police department, the police facility, when I was looking into it, that you really have to look into consolidation. And consolidation of police, just police departments, I have no idea about the fire department, means that we have to abolish our own police department and then get services from Dunkirk, because we are a village and they are a city, and they are not allowed to, because I was thinking maybe we can abolish both and, bring a new one. That's not a possibility. However, because you are more closely related to the fire department, I would invite you to look into it for the next 2 weeks, because we're talking here about, different contracts, different unions. We have to take under consideration everything, keeping in mind that our first responsibility is to deliver services in an efficient way, and not the other way around, not cut money first and then see about it. So please look into it for the next 2 weeks until our next meeting, and come up and talk to us about it.
Well, thank you.
Okay, great. Anybody else? About anything else about economic development, services, grants, all that?
What about federal grants?
The what?
Federal grants?
Federal grants are much more difficult to get because we are a village. We have to go through the county. It's not easy to get them.
Also, we couldn't do them ourselves.
No, they can do it for us. I mean,
So,
there is a
okay.
whole thing, but as a village, as far as I know, we cannot apply for federal grants.
Okay. Because I know both HUD and the Department of Agriculture
Mhm.
have all kinds of programs for rural or rural and semi-rural communities. HUD has, I was looking on the HUD website, but I didn't realize that we couldn't pursue that ourselves.
Yeah, and the other source of good resources is the EPA, the Department of Environmental Facilities in the state of New York. These have, they have a lot of money, and they are ready to, award grants.
Okay.
The problem is with all these things, if we don't have the project ready for them, they come out today and they say, okay, the deadline is in 10 days from now. Well, in 10 days from now, you can't possibly find a firm, perform a research about whatever you're doing, having plans, approve the plans and do all that. That's impossible. So what communities do and what we should do, actually, especially about infrastructure. We know we're having some problems both with wastewater treatment and drinking water. There is a lot of money. We spoke with we had a conference call with Rick and Betsy with the Department of Environmental Facilities Corporation, from the state of New York, and they have money and they're very ready to give us some money, but we have to. There's a deadline of August 1st. Until then, we have to have the plan ready. We have to have the engineering report ready, so we can apply for this money. And they have really good grants. I mean, they can give us 50% as a grant, and the rest 50 at 0% financing, which is it's almost a gift if they think that we can do something like that.
It seems that that's where there's more money available for wastewater treatment plants than anything. It seems to me that's where the money is. And other, even large cities have done such projects.
Right.
So they've combined wastewater treatment plants to cover very large areas, and successfully made it a cost savings for everyone.
Yeah, the good thing is that at the same conference call, London company was there as well. They had some representative there, so they knew what they were talking about, and they can actually apply for the grant themselves, which is going to be a great help for us since we don't have a department for economic development and grants and all that. That's going to be a big help.
I know when we met with Brian and Gear, they said there are some grants available that would also be able to help us up there at the reservoir, and I think that's,
Yes.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
the
that was
the point is the sooner they gave us the
Mhm.
report, the better, because we can start looking for these grants and then apply. I know there is like most of the grants should be the deadlines starting from April and go to end of July. So from beginning of April to end of July, we have to have all the applications ready and send in if we get to do something, because you saw the wastewater treatment plant and it's working very well, but it can be a catastrophe waiting to
Oh, yeah,
happen.
there's serious
Different
issues there. They're
serious
just able to
issues.
operate
Yes.
as well as they can, and same with the
Serious,
water treatment plant there.
Yeah.
There's issues, but fortunately, they're operating at
We
the
have
best
to
efficiency they can.
run against time, so, before something happens, because after it happens, we're gonna have to deal with fines and cleaning and fixing, whatever it broke, so, hopefully we're gonna be on time.
Where exactly do we stand with the projects? Are we ready to move forward with the wastewater treatment plant stuff, or after, and the water treatment plant in the reservoir and spillway operations? I mean, if you're saying,
We're waiting, as I said the other day, O'Brien and Gear, they're putting together a timetable as to where we can start, what is gonna make more sense, both financially and safety-wise, and give us a plan for the next, 3-5 years, to complete the whole project. So hopefully,
they get no timeline when that's complete though?
do
I
we have a
wonder.
timeline for that?
No, they were supposed to have that to us last week, or the week before.
Okay,
and
so-
they still haven't had it. They still don't have it. I've talked to Mike, and he said that they're getting close to having it complete, so.
Please explain to him that we're gonna need that in order to apply for some grants and all that.
Right.
And
And they're
also-
the ones that would apply for the grants,
Right,
too.
and also
so.
they need to give us the report about Carroll Avenue and all that.
Well, they haven't done the study yet. They just finished one study. They're into another study now, and that's the next one that they're gonna attack.
Because that's,
so.
again, it's August 1st, the deadline for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one they should be able to get done relatively quick.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And then the one from O'Brien and Gear, though, they gave us a couple of options for the spillway, so I would think we would have to decide what plan we wanted to take before we know how much of the grant
Yes,
to
of
go
course.
with it. So we need those,
Of course.
that information.
Well,
believe it,
yeah.
they already recommended the cheaper alternative. And normally, that's what we do. We hire the engineers to give us their take on which proposal. They gave us 3 proposals there.
Yeah,
And they normally tell you, this is the proposal that we're suggesting that you go with.
yeah.
So they've already done that. They've already said, this is the,
The one
you
with the
go
zigzag, if you
Exactly.
remember.
I mean,
Yeah.
but we still, the board has to decide, yes, we're going to accept that, so that we
Right,
go for
right.
the next place.
Yeah.
Yeah, after
Yeah.
they,
We
they've
have to
got
bring
to
After
some-
they create this plan, then you'll go ahead and adopt that plan, and we'll move forward with it.
So that's that. Anybody else?
I don't know if this is kind of economic development or not, but you shared with me, because I'm on the street light committee, an LED street light replacement for our current light situation. You had a proposal from a company that showed quite a lot of savings already. When can we implement that? What's it going to take that we need to do to implement that?
I don't have the actual proposal yet, just I have their study.
Oh, okay, that's why
So,
I saw
yeah,
the study.
So as soon as we have the proposal, I'll bring it here.
Oh, okay.
For all of you to see it, to, discuss it. Maybe he's gonna have to come and explain everything.
Because the proposal was quite impressive, the savings
Yes.
immediately, and the payback is very short, and that seems like the way to go. I just can't, sooner we can move on that, the greater.
Absolutely. We're expecting some prices for the poles from
Yeah.
the company, because they have to have to buy or lease the poles. So that's a part that they don't know yet. And
Okay.
they're going to, as soon as we know that amount, they can go ahead and do it. But we're gonna have a proposal from them as well. And the other thing that I was looking at today, we were doing the budget of the wastewater, the sewer budget. We're spending $150,000 a year for electricity there,
For what?
for electricity,
Oh,
which is a lot of money. If we can change that into solar or do anything like that with a new plan, $150,000 is a lot of money a year.
Wastewater treatment plant, they do have some savings based on, like, use of natural gas. They use
Right.
their own methane to heat
Yeah.
water there and stuff. One thing at the water treatment plant, when I was up there for a tour, at one point, maybe about 15 years ago, there was a logging study done on the property to log trees and stuff there. And it seemed like, at that point, from what I was told by the operator there, that was a pretty good source of revenue if we had pursued it. something like that would have to be studied again because it was 15 years ago, but
No.
I'm sure,
No,
would not
that
have-
study is still
Is it
in
still
place.
valid?
Yeah. We ran into an issue with one of the stands that was ready to harvest. We couldn't get at it.
Oh,
It was on railroad, we had to use a railroad access, one of their roads, and that road was actually collapsed. And we would have to actually rebuild that road, and apparently it's on a steep cliff type of thing. So it's a substantial expense to the village to rebuild it. So any money that we would get off of that tree stand would be spent and then some to rebuild that road.
okay, so it's not,
So that stand is probably a no-go, but we can take a look at it to see what the next stand that would be ready and when that would be ready to harvest.
yeah, because
and
I don't know how
get some
much
money
we're
off of that.
talking there, but it's just sitting there waiting to be.
Well, it
if it's
depends on
on-
what type of trees are on there
Yes.
and what the price of the tree, the lumber that you would harvest off of there is. And then that goes out to bid, and then people come in and bid on it, and then that generates the revenue. And then you have to pay off the people that, I'm trying to think of their name, Forcon, I think they're out of Jamestown. You'd have to pay them because they go in and mark the trees that can be harvested, and they actually manage the whole harvesting process to make sure that those are the only trees that they're cutting down and all that kind of stuff. But you
Yeah.
still net out positive.
Well, I was just trying to think of ideas here to bring
Yeah.
some revenue sources back into our village. I mean,
Uh-huh.
we can only cut so
That's right.
much, we need to
Yeah.
start.
That's what it's supposed to do.
There's some smaller different things, I can discuss those later with you, but I
Uh-huh.
think if these are feasible things, that we should move forward on them as quickly as possible. 'Cause,
Mhm.
Once we get the actual proposal for the LED, that seems like a no-brainer right there, absolutely.
I think so too. I mean, it looks really good. That's why I forwarded it all of you. But we need this number, and I know that you conducted them a few times, and they haven't given us a
Right.
price yet. Okay.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And it's a good thing for all of you to remember these things. Sometimes we forget, and we move forward without finishing business. Okay, so about the fire hall building issue, we all know what happened. If you want to elaborate.
Yeah, right
please.
now we're just waiting for the asbestos
Mhm.
analysis to come back. Should be back either tomorrow. Or sometime this week, let's put it that way. We don't know how backed up the lab was. We got the sample down there on Friday afternoon. So we're just waiting on that sample before we could start cleaning up. The engineer, the structural engineer took a look at it. He's going to, and the engineering company that I called was Nussbaumer and Clark. They're the ones that did the study on the building before. They're going to give us a proposal to update their study now that they can see some of the damage that's been done underneath. And from there, we will, the board would decide whether or not, after they give you that study, whether or not to move to basically have them build bid specs to go out to bid to see how much the project is going to cost in order to remedy all of the problems on that building. So that's where we're working toward. The engineers said that they should be back sometime this week with a proposal to us, so we'll see what that comes back at too. We do have some money in the budget that would pay for that study, so there would be no real impact to the budget because there's money there. So.
That's kind of my thought earlier on the consolidated facilities. I mean, at this point, it could be something very minor. I mean, this is a situation that has taken place over a number of years, the problem there with the stucco and the moisture issue. So, I mean, if we find out that it's a tremendous cost problem there, I mean, that's where I was kind of looking into any kind of ideas for
No, I understand.
for
That's why-
funding
that's
to.
why I wanted you to look into it because, I mean, at the end of the day, even if we decide that, something like that would be possible, first of all, it's going to take a lot of time, a long period of time. It's not going to happen in a
Well,
month or
actually,
so.
no, we're talking years probably.
And then, of course, and then we have to decide what we're gonna do with this building. You can't just let it rot there and just move the, the firefighters out of there. Something has to be done with that. So it's a very big issue.
Oh, yes,
And I understand that Dunkirk is moving to not consolidate, but share building between the police department and the fire department. So I understand they're doing something like that. Makes sense.
That is considered consolidation within your own community.
In
So
the-
there is grant money available for doing such a thing.
Yeah, but, let's look at
Well,
it.
yeah, possibility, I
Right. Anything about the fire hall building issue that we need to discuss?
Not for the building, for the fire department, we're looking to the
We
request for
can't
the.
hear you at all
I'm sorry,
over here.
not for the fire department building, but for the fire department, they were requesting funds for the radios.
Yeah, and we put it in the budget, didn't we?
No, we don't have it in the, I don't know, did you
We
have it in
did,
the
yeah.
budget?
It's in the.
Yeah, we did.
It's in the capital line, they're looking
Yeah.
to.
Yeah, we did.
They're looking to spend funds out of the,
Capital
the
reserve,
account that.
Right.
Right.
Authorization.
right.
They have to have
Okay,
authorization to
half
do
of it.
that, though.
Yeah, we
Right.
put it in the budget already.
But go ahead.
It requires a resolution.
It requires a resolution ahead in order to.
For them to use their share of the money out of the.
Right.
Right.
account.
Right.
They were hoping to get that done, like, right away.
So you want this done before the budget passes?
Well, that portion of it won't impact the budget. That portion is just allowing them to use that money
Oh,
for
okay,
that
yes,
purpose.
yes,
So
yes, I understand.
we're
All
okay
right.
with that.
Yeah, we can do that for next time
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Yeah, of course. But we have no choice but to do that
Right.
for
I
next
just
year.
want to make sure, because I thought
Yeah,
there
well,
was
thank
a,
you for that, that's great.
I got a question. It's not as big an issue as the rest of them, but does anybody know what happened down at the entrance to Russell Joy Park on Hamlet to the brick wall and the sign? We know what's going on?
What happened?
No, I
What,
didn't
the
see.
sign?
The whole thing, the bricks?
Yeah,
the-
it was hit with the loader.
Oh, all right,
Our order?
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Wasn't that about a month ago or so?
Brad, we
No,
can't
it
arrest
was longer
anybody?
than that. It's been there. Been a while.
I think we kept it quiet, so we don't talk about it. Thank you for bringing it out.
I just wondered about it.
Okay, so we'll fix it. Okay, so with that, I think you can go to executive session.
I hereby make a motion to enter an executive session as authorized by section 1051F of the Public Officers Law to discuss employment history of specific personnel and collective negotiations pursuant to Article 14 of Civil Service Law.
I second.
Trustee Rockman,
Aye.
Trustee Christina,
Yes.
Trustee Linden,
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essex.
Yes.
Okay, so,
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
okay, the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Fredonia, duly called and held on the 27th day of February 2017 at 8:25 in the Trustees' Room, second floor, Village Hall, Fredonia, New York, and public notice of the time and place of this meeting has been given to the media, news media, and conspicuously posted in one or more designated public locations in accordance with Section 104 of the Open Meetings Law.
Whereas members of this board present at this meeting have read the official minutes of the Board of Trustees' regular meeting of January 23rd, 2017, and special meeting of February 6, 2017. Now therefore be it resolved, this board approves the minutes as entered into the official minutes, and be it further resolved that the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Trustee Rockman. Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essex.
Yes.
Passes.
We have Fire department report for the month of January 2017. They had a total number of 152 calls. 118 of those were rescue and EMS calls, 13 false alarms and false calls, 9 good intent calls. The next report is the building inspector's report for year-end 2016. That report would be available in my office. There's a lot of information on here. I'll give you total fees collected of $70,439.10. The rest, if anybody wanted to see this, it's in my office. The next one is for the month of January. Total fees collected $2,115. There was 1 permit issued, 7 inspections, and 1 renewal. And there was 1 stop work order. That's it for the building inspector. The last one is the justice report for the month of January. Total number of cases, 139, with $17,789 in parking tickets, fines, and surcharges collected. There were 72 vehicle and traffic, 41 criminal, village ordinances 20, 5 civil cases, and 1 ABC case. And that's it for reports.
Correspondence was received from Gina Ricotta, campaign manager of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, requesting the use of village sidewalks for the North Chautauqua Walk Multiple Sclerosis on Sunday, May the 7th, 2017.
Be resolved that the request of Gina Ricotta, campaign manager of the National Multiple Sclerosis Society, is hereby approved to hold a Northern Chautauqua Walk MS on Sunday, May 7, 2017, using various village sidewalks, subject to the direction of the police department, and the village receiving a certificate of insurance in the amount of $1 million, naming the village as an additional insured, which the village has received.
I second.
Trustee Rockman.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
Correspondence was received from the Secretary of the Fredonia Volunteer Fire Department to add Diana Olivares Salazar and Dakota Kowana to the active roles.
Be it resolved that the names of Diana Olivares Salazar, SUNY Fredonia, and Dakota Cuiava, 10356 Chestnut Road, Dunkirk, are hereby added to the active roles of the D.R. Barker Hose Company effective immediately.
Second.
Trustee Rockman.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
And it passes. And public portion. Does anybody has anything to say? Thank you for coming.
Come on, sir.
Okay, and let's go ahead for the resolution.
The next one we're tabling, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Be it resolved that the regular and overtime payrolls of the various village departments and bills approved by the Finance Committee and set forth in Abstract 486 is hereby approved and directed paid.
I second.
Trustee Rockman.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essek.
Yes.
And it passes. Right.
Did we,
What's the matter, Mark?
was this one resolution review? And the youth council thing, did we talk about this?
The what?
The youth council resolution?
We did not talk
discuss
about it.
Okay.
Oh, we did not talk about it.
No.
We didn't do
No.
that.
Do you want to table it?
Let's
I'd
table
li-
it for
you-
next
is-
time.
We were going to, and
Can
then
we
I think we
table
just
it
didn't
until
have
we can
time.
take a peek at this?
It was not, it was, excuse me?
Can we table it till next
Yes.
meeting?
Yeah, we
So we
can
can
table
take
it
a
for
peek
next
at it
meeting.
and kind of,
Because originally, and that's why I posted today, the kids were going to be here along with Mr. Baskey and
Oh, okay.
Cedric, Dr. Howard from the college, but they have rehearsals and all that,
Oh,
so they're
yeah.
not here. I
Do it
want them
next
to
time.
be here
Sure.
anyways, so let's
Okay.
table it for next time.
Okay.
So we're down to the bottom here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, be it resolved that the mayor, board of trustees, and the village administrator are hereby approved to attend the Fredonia Chamber of Commerce annual election and awards banquet on Thursday, March 23rd, 2017 at Shorewood Country Club, Dunkirk.
I second.
Trustee Rockman.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essex.
Yes.
And we are going. To the country club, I mean. Okay, and with this, thank you very much for coming. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
There being no further business to attend, make a motion, we adjourn.
A second?
Trustee Rockman.
Aye.
Trustee Christina.
Yes.
Trustee Linden.
Aye.
Trustee Jones.
Aye.
Trustee Essex.
Yes.